Alright, so this tutorial involves creating a composite design inside the silhouette of another image, and I've seen this in numerous places. It's been on movie posters, magazine ads, and it's a really cool design effect, and we're going to create something similar to that right here. And the shape that we're going to use for our design is this dove right here. So what I want to do is basically create a silhouette of this dove, and it's going to be really easy because we've got the subject on a black background. So what I'm going to do to select it is go into the channels palette and look for the individual channel that seems to give me the lightest areas. And in this case, it looks like it's going to be the red. But I do want to modify it a little bit, so I'm going to go down here and just create a duplicate of that red channel. And then let's go ahead and bring up our levels. I'm going to press Command or Control L, and that will bring up my levels. I'm just going to take the gray slider and push it toward the black a little bit, and that's going to lighten the image up quite a bit, as you can see. Because we don't want too many dark areas in here, because this is where our image is going to be visible, the composite we're going to design inside of here. So I think that looks good. Let's maybe make that a little bit lighter by pushing the white slider in a little bit. So there we have it. I'm going to go ahead and load this channel now as a selection. I'm going to hold down my Command or Control key, simply click right on there and load it. And here in my working document, I'm just going to drag that selection in. So just grab a selection tool, any one will do. And when you drag the cursor in there, you'll get the little Move Selection tool. So I'm just going to drag and drop it into my working file. So let's go ahead and minimize this file. So here we have our active selection. Now, I want to resize this selection, obviously. It's really big. And I'm going to press, or actually go under the Select menu and go to Transform Selection. But now I can't see my transform handles. Here's a real quick trick for getting access to those transform handles that are outside your visible area. Simply press Command 0 on your keyboard, and it will zoom the image out, revealing those corners. So let's simply grab our Shift key, and I'm going to hold down the Option key as well. That would be Alt on a Windows, and that'll scale it down toward the center. And we'll just position this inside our document here. I'll make it kind of big, almost to the edge, but not quite. And we'll position it there. In my Layers panel, I want to go in here and create a new blank layer, and I'm just going to press Shift-Delete and go ahead and fill this with 50% gray. So there's my working image that has my dove in there. So now I want to bring up the images that I'm going to use to composite inside of here. And here I have this image of this guy here and the image of this young lady here. And what I'm going after here is kind of a dramatic, almost like a movie poster where it's kind of a dramatic look to it. So let's go ahead and take this image and drag and drop it into our working file. Let's do the same with the other photo. Just going to drag and drop that in there. So all my working elements are now in here. So let's turn off this image for now. Let's work on this one. So with that layer selected, I am going to go ahead and press Command or Control T, and then to scale this down considerably and kind of position this over the area of the bird. Now, I want to clip this image inside of the area of the bird. I'm just going to do that using a clipping group. If I hold down my Option or Alt key and just simply click between those layers, you can see it clips it inside there. And let's just position this right about here. Now, I'm going to go ahead, and obviously I'm going to need a layer mask here because I don't want to see these hard edges here. So let's just go ahead and apply a layer mask there. And I'm going to grab my gradient tool, and do make sure we're using the foreground to transparent gradient, and set black as your foreground. And let's just drag in a gradient from the sides here and just kind of give this a bit of a softer edge there, and that gives it a little bit more interest. So we can see his face in there. So now let's take this image of this young lady here and position it as well. I'm going to press Command or Control T, and let's take this and scale it down just as I did a moment ago. I'm holding down the Shift Option or Shift Alt on a Windows. And we'll scale this down, and I will position this inside the wing. And it works out nicely. The position of her face kind of fits right here inside the wing area. So we'll position that right about there. Press Enter, and I need to go ahead and add this to the clipping group. So I'm going to hold down my Option key, click in between that layer, and now it's grouped inside there. We obviously need to add a layer mask to this image and mask parts of it out. So let's go in here and let's take out some area there, a little bit off the top here, coming from the side. And the fact that it's fading gives it a little bit more drama to it, I believe. So, and I do believe I need to scale this down just a little bit more so her face kind of fits in there a little bit better. And that looks pretty good. All right, so all the elements are in position, but now I just want to give it an overall monochromatic color. I don't want it to all be in color like this. And plus the gray of the dove, that's just not very fun, is it? So what I'm going to do is load the area of the dove as a selection. I'm going to hold down my command key and then simply click right on that layer icon, and it loads that area as a selection. Let's go into the adjustment layer menu, and I'm going to choose hue saturation. And you can see in our layers panel that it's created the adjustment layer and created a layer mask based on that selection. So it's only going to affect the area inside the bird. So let's go back into our adjustment panel. I'm going to click on colorize, and you can just simply slide the hue slider anywhere to what color you want it to be. Now, it's no secret that my favorite color is blue when it comes to designs like this, so let's go ahead and get some shade of blue in there. And I think that looks pretty good. All right, let me drag my layer panel out here so I can see what's going on. So I've got that color effect going on. It looks pretty good. And all we need to do now is really add some text, which I've gone ahead and set. So let's take our group of text here and just position that. I think I need to reposition this guy's face a little bit. His chin was getting cut off there, so let's just kind of make that fit in there a little bit better. And there we have it. Coming this year, a brand new movie, The Bridges of Sweet November. Nope, it's a fake title, of course. But there you get the idea of using an image or a silhouette and then creating a composite design within that to create a more dramatic design. Very cool stuff.